In this video, I want to talk about using frameworks in your mentoring. What I mean by a framework is a great example of this is our foundations framework. When it comes to framing out a pursuit of God, we talk about these three things: trusting Jesus, honoring God, and helping others. Another example of a framework is our marriage basics framework, where we talk about loving and choosing love as a choice, and earning trust, and then learning how to communicate. So those are two examples of frameworks that we offer in our resources at PursueGOD.org. And the whole idea is this: as you're mentoring somebody, as you're walking with somebody and you're helping them to grow, let's say in their faith, or helping them to grow in their marriage, let's say marriage mentors are helping them to grow, those two examples, it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're talking about all these different topics and you're getting with people and you're helping them process this issue and you're helping them to discover this truth as you're mentoring them. Well, if you don't have a framework to keep it straight in your own mind, then not only are you going to be overwhelmed and confused, but potentially they're going to be overwhelmed and confused. You know, so many times you're talking through a topic and then another topic springs up and another topic springs up and another topic springs up. This first happened to me when I did some counseling. My wife and I did some marital counseling years ago with some couples, and my wife is trained in this and I'm not trained in this at all. So she had a lot more clarity in her own mind when it came to helping someone out in their marriage. And I was kind of sitting back. I was just sort of like, in there for comic relief here and there, because it was like my head was spinning. I wasn't even sure how to help them. And you know, they would bring up an issue and then it would bring up another issue. And then the wife would bring up this issue and the husband would bring up this issue. And I'm over there, you know, in the corner curling myself up like a little baby. And my wife was just calm and cool and collected. Well, the reason is because she had better clarity in her own mind because of her frameworks in her own mind. So let's go back to that marriage framework. For example, choose love. Love is a choice, fundamentally. Trust is something you have to earn. And then healthy couples know how to communicate and keep talking. So when you're working through, if you're helping someone in their marriage, you know, guys, one-on-one, or maybe in a marriage mentoring with one couple on one couple, or even in a small group setting, if you can remember those three things, if you can articulate those three things and keep those in mind, then whatever other things come up, you can plug that into a framework. You can say, oh, well, this is a love issue, so let's work back on making sure we understand that love is a choice. Or this is a trust issue, so let's make sure that you understand that trust is something that you have to earn. Or this is just a practical communication skills issue. You know that 99% of the issues that come up in a marital mentoring kind of a context can be connected to one of those three things. And that just helps you to keep it organized and keep it straight and know how to tackle each of those issues as they come up. Get back to those fundamentals. Remember, maturity is all about mastering the basics, and the basics are what the frameworks are all about. Let's go back to the faith framework. You know, if you're helping someone in their pursuit of God, it's so useful to know, okay, well, is this a trusting Jesus issue? Is this an honoring God issue? Or is this a maturity issue where someone has to learn how to help someone else? So, for example, somebody who is still not really sure what they believe about Jesus, and they're not really sure what they believe about the Bible, well, really for you, your main goal is to help them at some point to get to that first step, which is that we start by trusting Jesus. Or maybe you've got someone who's a new believer, but they've got some habits in their life. It is really helpful for you to know how to frame that in terms of that second thing, that we live to honor God, and you're helping them to live to honor God. But if you've got somebody, a Christian, a longtime Christian, or you've got a small group with longtime Christians in that small group, or you're mentoring someone one-on-one, and at this point, all they're doing is making it about them, and they're just stuck on themselves. And it's everything that they ever think about or talk about is from their own perspective, and it's all about me. Well, that framework is helpful because really what you need to help them to do is to move past and get onto that third thing, which is to begin looking outward so they can really mature by helping someone else. So that faith framework, every sermon I preach, every time I help anyone, mentoring anyone, I've always got that framework in mind, that simple 3-part framework. So whether it's faith, whether it's marriage, whether it's helping someone with addiction and recovery, whether it's a money issue, learn to use frameworks to help someone, not only to keep it clear in your own mind, but to help someone else out in your mentoring relationship or in your small group relationship.